And Mr. Chairman, I'd like to tell you about those donors. We're not some big rich company that wrote a check for this building. I'd like to tell you who those donors are. I'd like to tell you who those donors are. Those donors started with primary school children who brought nickels and quarters to school. One little girl who brought a penny in second grade and said, "Is this enough for the children in Belize?" And her teacher said, "Yes, we appreciate your penny." This money was raised by Catholic high school students in Des Moines who went without their lunches and used their lunch money to donate to this foundation. This money was raised by the men of Theta Chi at Drake University, that their hearts were touched by the love for learning that you parents have instilled in your children. And our hearts have been touched by your children's determination to get an education and to overcome every obstacle. To get up before dawn and walk an hour in the mud to catch a bus to go to school. To do their homework by candlelight at night for hours and hours. And to go to a high school without internet. Well, we're here to remove one of those obstacles because they're not going to go to a high school without internet anymore.
The foundation gives an award every year to a student who is going on to study to become a teacher. This foundation is about education, and one of the most important parts about education are teachers who inspire students. We're here, we want to support you, we want you to have the resources that your students need and that you as students need to continue to go to school. But we recognize that one of the most important parts of that is teachers who are there to help, who are there to inspire, to keep you coming back to school, to keep you learning, and show you also with us, hand in hand, the importance of education. Where I grew up, the two closest people that lived to me were Robert and Kay Wilson. Kay Wilson was my primary school teacher. Her husband, Robert, he was my high school teacher. They were both part of my church community. Unfortunately, Kay, she had cancer. And as she was going through cancer, I was sharing the story of Belize and what we were doing down here with them. And they said, "We want to help." They're teachers, they're inspiring, and they committed every year to donate at least 2 scholarships to this foundation every year with the little money that they have. And so in their honor, and in the honor of them inspiring students, we created the Robert and Kay Wilson Award to give to a student who's going to inspire others. This year that award is going to Apollinario. Why don't you come forward, Apollinario? Right here. Let's give him a round of applause. Apollinario wants to study to be a teacher. He's a valedictorian of his class. We got to see where he studied last June when we were here, and he inspired us. And Apollinario, we know that you're going to inspire a lot of students and help keep the mission of this foundation going forward. So, congratulations.
But we appreciate the opportunity to be here. We appreciate you all being here. Linda and I have had the opportunity to come to Belize 4 or 5 years. And really tying in, you've already heard from Kale and from Dr. Jim, the answer to the question, why do we do this? Why do we give money? Why do we get other people in Iowa to give money? It's really the students. They've touched our hearts, but it's even more than that they just want to learn and they want an education. We love that part of it, and that's why we want to help. But every single student who writes an essay wants that education to make Belize better. They don't want to leave Belize. They don't want to come to America. They want to make Belize better. And so the more educated citizens we can help create, the better we're going to make this village, and the better we're going to make Belize. That's why we do it. And we're going to continue to do it. But we started, and it was all about scholarships and making sure that students that wanted an education had the opportunity. And we're never going to veer away from that. But as we've been coming here, we see there's bigger needs. There was a need for a cafeteria at Corazon. There was a need for some classrooms. And when we were here in June, and actually this had been brewing with Linda for a while. She wasn't happy that the students at Corazon had no internet. And she kept harping on us, what are we going to do about it? And so in June when we were here, we said we're going to go back home and we're going to ask our donors to not only fund the scholarships that we do every year, but to dig down deep and give us enough money that we can build this internet center. And I can tell you, from August until today is all it took to get this done. It would have taken 2 years to do this in America. So congratulations to everybody that made this beautiful building happen and happen so fast. But that's why we do it. But what's important for you all to know, number one, and I think people have said it, when we say we're going to do something, we do it. We get it done.
As a female business owner in the United States and a donor of this foundation that we bring here for you, I look into the eyes of all the young ladies and I want to make sure that you all know how important you are to us and to the world. Education is important to you, and without you, it just doesn't go around. So as happy as I am to bring a scholarship to one of the young men here, I'm extremely happy to bring a scholarship to the young ladies here. So study hard and reach for your dreams. I know you can do it.
Recognize one of our very own Sixth Form scholar by the name of Brian Powell, who is here with us. And I must say that Brian has been our high school scholar as well, who attended Corazon High School, who graduated from Corazon. He left Corazon and he's also going to the University of Belize right now, studying to be a social worker. So he's presently doing a 4-year program, a bachelor program, and we are hopeful that the next 4 years he will complete his bachelor and be able to be someone out there in our society. So Brian, kindly come forward and receive your certificate as our Sixth Form scholar. Also, Brian is working at PGTV, so all of whatever is happening here now will be on television tonight, and he's working there. We're very proud of him, and so you guys will be out internationally after this.
Good afternoon, everyone. I just want to thank Dr. James Albert, the Vice President, the donors. I thank each and every one of them because they believe in us, and that is why they are doing this. And without them, everything that is being done by the foundation wouldn't be that possible. So I really appreciate what they invest in the future of Belize, and they want to see success in the country of Belize. Thank you.
At this time, we call on Mr. Santiago Salam, the village chairman, to come forward and present our donors with some gifts of appreciation on behalf of the village of San Lucas. The community members have gathered and collectively got these gifts to present to you, the donors, the president, the vice president. So we would like to start with Dr. James Albert. Kindly come forward.
It's beautiful. Thank you.
But I never know that you're so.
One of our great donors as well, our very own Mr. Captain Paul Mahon, and come forward.
Mr. Paul, I have a gift to you so that you carry it in a DC for fishing. Correct?